We are reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 6, 7, and 8. Eat not the bread of him who has a hard, grudging, and envious eye, neither desire his dainty foods. For as he thinks in his heart, so he is, or so is he. As one who reckons, he says to you, eat and drink, yet his heart is not with you, but is grudging the cost. The morsel which you have eaten, you will vomit up, and your complimentary words will be wasted. These words, they are also called wise sayings. They were written by Solomon, and Solomon is believed to be the wisest man that ever lived in this planet that we live. And it is good to note here, the Bible is trying to put a picture of a person who what he is saying does not reflect what is in his heart. And that's why it is saying, eat not the bread of him who has a hard, grudging, and envious eye. That's a stingy person. So in other words, this proverbs or this proverb is saying, do not eat the bread of a miser person, of a stingy person. I do not desire his dainty food or his delicious food. Verse 7, for as he thinks in his heart, for as he calculates in his heart, so is he. So what the Bible here is saying, this is the person who is thinking otherwise. Whatever he is saying with his mouth is totally different with what is in his heart. So you are eating his bread, but every bite that you make, he is calculating the cost that you are using. Every morsel that you take in your mouth, he is grudging the cost. So here, there is an aspect of hypocrisy that is being shown here. And most of the people, they are hypocrites. And that is why even Jesus, he was calling Pharisees hypocrites. Why? Because what they were trying to show outwardly was not what was in their heart. They were appearing to be so religious, but deep in their heart, that was opposite. So now this man, you are eating his bread, is so delicious, is very dainty food. But now, in his heart, he is thinking otherwise. He is trying to calculate the cost that you are using by eating his bread. And that's why now verse 7 it says, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So what people think in their mind, that is their true reflection of who they are, and not what they say. And because someone can tell you that I love you, but deep in their heart, they mean otherwise. Just like this person, you are eating in front of him, and actually you are giving him complimentary words. But now, where you think that he's enjoying the food that you are eating, he is calculating the cost. And if you want to know the true reflection of a person, You look what is in his heart, not what he says with his mouth. What is in his heart, that is what matters, because that is who he is. That's what the Bible says, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So if in his heart, he's grudging the cost, he's calculating the cost of the bread or of the food that you are eating, that is his true reflection that he's a stingy person, he's a miser. It is good to know that most of the time people may say something, but they are not what they say, but who they are. Whatever they think in their heart, that is who they are. So this person who has invited you, and he is calculating the cost that you are using. Verse 8, it says that the morsel which you have eaten, you will vomit, and your complimentary words will be wasted. Why? Because this person is thinking that you are using, or you are making him to undergo certain cost by taking his delicious food. So it is important to note that what defines a person is not what he says, but what he thinks. Because you can say one thing, but deep in your mind, you are thinking otherwise. Whatever you are thinking, that is who you are. So if this person, for example, he is just inviting you to take a supper or a dinner or a lunch, but deep in his heart, he thinks that you are making him to incur some cost, the true reflection of whom he is that he is a stingy person, he's a miser. So may God help you to understand that what defines a person is what he thinks in his heart. What is in his heart, not what he says in his mouth. He can say something in his mouth, but deep in his heart, he thinks otherwise. So whatever you think in your heart, that is who you are. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.